4 years where they said gun owners, conservatives, libertarians, they are the terrorists. Remember the New York Times, scouts trained to fight terrorists and more. Shows the Explorer Scouts 3 years ago, training to take on disgruntled vets that wouldn't do what? Turn their guns in, complete with dozens of color photos of the Iraq war vets being killed by the DHS Yugen. History repeating itself. People didn't think that was real at the time. Now it's completely widespread. Ladies and gentlemen, we have footage in Police State 2000 of scouts training. Go watch it. It's free online. To go in their parents' houses and tell the Army what guns mommy and daddy have. Is daddy telling the truth? Is this all the guns? The Marines in America training for this. That's why the military's waking up, because by and large, they're good men and women. And they know they're violating their oath, even training to do this. So I want to give the number out and then go over some of these headlines and then go to your calls. It's official. Senate.gov, I covered it last hour. I'm going to go back over some of it here in a moment. Dianne Feinstein says gun owners will have to be fingerprinted and nationally registered. It'll be like a level 3 firearms deal for basically all gun owners, where they'll have to approve. They'll have to bring your guns in and register them, and they'll decide. And she says that's part of protecting your right to own guns. Let me go back over some of these headlines here for you, okay? Sikh shooting ties into DHS veterans or terrorist narrative. Fox News, Democratic rep, the real enemy is the Tea Party. Forbes, how the U.S. military would crush a Tea Party rebellion. That's now their #1 enemy, is the Tea Party. They openly train at West Point and at the ROTCs all over the country. Just look it up. To take on who? I've been to the drills, folks, before this was ever in the news. Everybody wears overalls and John Deere hats. It looks like my farming family. I've been to the drills, folks. I mean, John Deere hats. They practice mowing you down. Army colonel ignites firestorm with article on crushing Tea Party insurgency. Examiner. The Hill. House Dem. Tea Party is the real enemy. Feinstein and Como admit planning Australian-style forced government gun buyback. Boom. That's now in Town Hall, Fox News, you name it. Oh, 5 days after Kurt Nemo's article, New York governor, gun confiscation and forced buyback an option. Boom. Here's Feinstein's letter, stopping the spread of deadly assault weapons. She says to protect legitimate hunters and the rights of existing gun owners, it's like saying to protect your life, we hit you in the head 55 times with a hammer. And it goes on to say to keep your firearms that are grandfathered, you will have to go into the ATF to implement registration. And it says dedicated ATF implement registration of those with grandfathered 900 band firearms, positive identification, including photograph and fingerprint, certification from local law enforcement of identity, and the possession would not violate state or local law. So this is how New York did it 50 years ago. They said, oh, you guys will have a gun, just come get a permit. Then they charged a lot of money, then they quit giving the permits. There you go. This is what the president's getting ready to do. And then meanwhile, the general public isn't even aware of this. Napolitano stands by controversial report saying returning veterans are the #1 terror threat. Washington Times. I'm showing you articles. Alert, DHS rounding up veterans, throwing them in mental institutions for simply criticizing Obama. Infowars.com. Okay. And you're like, well, this will cause a civil war. I mean, if they try to do what they've done in New York and Connecticut and Illinois, where they say, okay, come register your guns. You got to get a yearly FOID card retroactively. And everybody pretty much went and complied. And then the minute you're in the hospital, that's who they usually hit. Like I mentioned last hour, it's in the Illinois news. They come and they SWAT team your house and make a big deal about it on the news. They're going to do this, folks, and they're going to take your guns and they're going to call you terrorists. They're already saying gun owners are the filth of the earth. Gun owners need to be killed. Gun owners are racist. I mean, it's all over the news. This is the demonization. This is so huge. And now all these House Republicans are coming out and senators saying they're going to support the reasonable gun ban. And you know what? They're like, you know what? You're not just going to not sell those anymore. We're going to ban most of them, and the others you're going to come in and register. You're going to have a little visit with the police officers. They already know what gun you've got. They already know you're law-abiding. They know the guns lower crime. They're getting ready to fully implode the economy and take your pension funds. And they know that when they take the pensions paid for by especially non-commissioned officers, they know those types that have been in 23, 25 years, they know the veterans are going to get mad. And that's fine, because they're going to kill you. They've already trained to take you on, okay? This is a criminal foreign banking takeover. Mega banks combined with communists at the grassroots. U.S. Treasury raids federal employee pension funds to cover debts. See, it's already started. That's in Forbes, AP, Reuters, you name it. See, I told you all this was coming. How did I know? 7 years ago, they changed the federal law where they can take your pension funds, public or private. And they're coming. They're coming. You got it? They've done it in every other country. They're following an exact plan. How do I know what's coming next? They've done it before. But here, you know the real Crocodile Dundee? This was actually in Shotgun News more than 12, 13 years ago. I covered it. In fact, guys, Google, the real Crocodile Dundee was killed. He was a trapper. He took people on tours. They had already taken his semi-autos. They wanted his bolt actions. And they came out like hot shots with a SWAT team bragging they were going to kill him. And he fought back, killed a couple of them. They killed him. Did you know they actually attacked and killed, over the decade after the gun ban in Australia, over 1,000 Aussies? They murdered them. They would go to the forest swamp and kill, because it's hunting. They want to hunt gun owners. We are the most hated people, veterans, gun owners. The real Crocodile Dundee dies in police shootout. And that's out of what, the London Independent? Yep. There you go. Go read it for yourself. The rugged Australian rancher whose feats of survival in the outback inspired the movie character Crocodile Dundee was killed in a shootout. Now, let me tell you something. The globalists don't care how many cops die. They hate your guts too, okay? This is a criminal, illegitimate government that probably staged the shootings. These guys are always follow the same MO. With illegal guns, under doctor's care, one guy under a DARPA mind control program, the Batman shooter. I want to hear from police and military. Active police, active military. I know they've hired a lot of Rambo-type cops that think their war against America is going to be fun. Boy, I feel sorry for those idiots. You have no idea what you're about to be part of. And the plan is to get us to wipe each other out. Do the police and military agree? Are you not training to do this? It's admitted. It's all starting. Are you going to go after the American people and take their guns? Because here's the problem. 800-259-9231. Here's the rest of the story. Just like Katrina, we later learned most of the military refused to take guns. They didn't care. They showed units that would do it to acclimate everybody. Most military and police are going to refuse. They're not going to care. They're going to send special units in to commit atrocities against patriots. More Wacos trying to elicit a paramilitary asymmetrical counter-response, counter-revolution that they'll call a terrorist revolution. The terrorists are taking over. They're engaged in a revolution. They want to start the fight to call counter-revolutionaries, real Americans, the terrorist. 800-259-9231. See, that's the rest of the story here. And they're going to stage atrocities and blame it on the patriots. 800-259-9231. Do you understand we're on the edge right now? I want to talk to police and others straight ahead. We have witnessed 2 terrible storms in the east, but we are still in the eye of the perfect storm. The most devastating economic conditions since the Great Depression, America's worst drought in agricultural history, and now the economic results of the presidential election. This perfect storm is a huge threat to everyone's food supply. I just doubled down and got even more supplies from eFoods Direct, and I recommend you do the same. It's time to get your own supply from eFoods Direct. I know I won't be standing in a bread line trading my freedom for food. I'm taking control of my future, and you're nuts if you don't do the same. Go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex to find the specials. And you can start with a holiday gift pack that's normally $80, now under $50. Remember, I can warn you, but I can't feed you. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Would you rather prepare 6 months too early or 1 day too late? 409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Hello, this is Ty Bollinger, author of the best-selling book, Cancer, Step Outside the Box. I want you to know some very important information. In 1985, President Ronald Reagan requested that Carnivora be sent directly to the White House at a time when only the president could obtain this world-class healer. Now, 27 years later, Carnivora capsules are used around the world to keep people healthy. Now you can protect yourself and your loved ones in this age of superbugs with 17 naturally occurring compounds that instinctively respond to abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell. If you want to stay healthy, now's your chance to literally wake up your critical immune cells to attack harmful invaders that don't belong in your body. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY or order from carnivora.com. That's carnivora.com. That's 1-866-836-8735, 1-866-VENUS-FLY, or visit carnivora.com. Protect your immune system. It's the only one you've got.
Friends, this is Alex Jones for MidasResources.com. For more than 15 years, I have exclusively used Midas Resources for all my precious metal needs. Whether it's bullion or collectibles you're looking for, Midas Resources is simply the best. I own my gold as a hedge against inflation. This Federal Reserve fiat currency could go the way of the Deutschmark and the Weimar Republic anytime. In these historically dangerous times, it makes sense to physically hold gold and silver. Midas already has some of the best deals in the industry. But if you give them a call and mention the radio special, they will give you a list of the day's super specials. Midas brokers are standing by to answer all your questions at 800-686-2237. They also have a lot of informative free literature explaining the opportunities and risk of holding precious metals. They are ready to answer your questions at 800-686-2237. Again, that's 800-686-2237.
Hi, my name is Annette, and due to menopause symptoms for nearly 2 years, I suffered severe hot flashes, which prevented me from sleeping all night. It was so hard to work because I continued all day to have the hot flashes from hell. I was exhausted and depleted. After only 3 weeks on One World Way, I have no hot flashes, and I'm sleeping normally again. I feel energized and strong. This is an amazing product.
It is a little-known fact that every single cell of your body is supposed to produce 10% of its protein content as glutathione. But due to toxicity and aging, it does not. Could glutathione be a missing factor in optimal cell function for your entire body? If you restore the optimal glutathione levels in your cells, especially your glands and organs, then as a result, your glands and organs work better. Imagine the quality of life improvement you might have. To order One World Way, call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com. That's oneworld.com.
All right, Alex Jones here, back live. We're going right to your calls. Again, I've only covered a few of the points. The government admits they're preparing for civil war, civil unrest, and the government is saying the veterans, gun owners, constitutionalists, conservatives, libertarians are the enemy. Remember just 4 years ago, we got all these documents. People couldn't believe it. Now it's mainstream news. Yeah, and you're a racist, too, and we're going to arrest you. All they got to do is blow up some federal buildings, wire up some patsies, set some people up, tell somebody they're in a drill of attacking a police station. They kill the guys in the drill, say they're the terrorist. I mean, it's so easy how they do this. They use drills at schools, you name it, as the covers. We've caught them. That's been declassified before. Operation Gladio got rid of all the liberties in Europe, basically, from the 50s until the 80s, blowing up school buses and shooting up schools and stuff. That's how they took the guns in Italy, was staged school shootings. By the way, just type in government staged terror attacks with CIA, Italy. You'll get the Italian Supreme Court declassifying it all, 5 years ago. That was just one country where they did it. Yes, our government sent special forces in, and they'd bring a communist in, shoot him in the back of the head to blame him, and then have the special forces go out the back, shoot a bunch of kids. I mean, this is how they do it. That's why if anybody ever wants you to be part of a drill,